Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Recently I found myself with a few spare parts, so I decided to build a Windows 7 PC using only parts from the turn of last decade. Starting with the case, which is an Alien vs Predator Hyperion M80X case. Okay, I'm cheating a little here as I've only had this for a couple of years, but it was just sitting around doing nothing. But I love how compact it is and it's great for cable management. The processor is an Intel i3-2120 socket LGA 1155, pulled out of an old HP Slimline office computer clocked at 3.3 GHz. Launched in early 2011, this processor can be picked up for just £3 from the UK-based CEX and is popular with PC builders with a budget. The motherboard, the CPU we reside in, is a Gigabyte GA-H61M S2PV, which I picked up off eBay for £30. More than I would have liked to have paid, especially given I've already been through 3 motherboards before this, none of which worked. Thankfully this one does and came with a Pentium G630 and 2GB of RAM, which I will save for another video. The RAM also came from the salvaged HP computer, a whole 8GB of crucial memory. I'll be using both sticks because why not? For storage, the boot drive will be a Gigabyte SSD with 240GB. I picked this up a few months ago for just £25 from eBuyer, and it lived in my gaming rig for a while before I upgraded to an M2 SSD. Alongside it is a 500GB HDD, also from the aforementioned HP, and the PSU is a Be Quiet Pure Power L8 400W non-modular that I've had knocking about for a few years. Finally, the graphics card, which is an Asus ATI Radeon Barts HD 6850 with 1GB of VRAM that I just got for £15 from CEX. This GPU was launched in October of 2010 and supports DirectX 11.2, operates at a frequency of 775MHz and memory is running at 1000MHz. On launch it was priced at $179, roughly £112 at the time it was launched. It features 2 DVI ports, a HDMI port and DisplayPort. Of course it supports multiple displays, and I found I can use the HDMI port and one of the DVI ports with a HDMI adapter with no issues. Before jumping into some games, I figured I would do some benchmarking, starting with 3D Mark 2006 where the PC scored 18625. Putting this into perspective, the XP rig in my last video scored 5514. To test it against my main rig, I used the latest version of 3D Mark and ran the Firestrike test, where the Windows 7 PC scored 2163 while my main rig scored 11701, making it just 5% better of all results in this test. Okay, enough about that, time for some gaming. First with GTA 5, I didn't do much with the settings other than change the resolution, but it ran pretty well and averaged 30 frames per second without much struggle. Next, BioShock Infinity, I ran this on both high and ultra settings. On high, we saw averages of around 40 frames per second, whilst ultra just hit around 30 FPS. It is playable on ultra, but you may find the odd bit of stutter. Euro Truck Simulator 2 saw no issues at all on maximum settings, maintaining 30 frames per second with no trouble at all. And finally, I thought I'd give PC Building Simulator a go, seeing as it's probably the newest game I have in my Steam library. I was surprised to find that the maximum settings were very demanding and we saw an average frame rate of just 20 frames per second. It is playable, but you'll get the same enjoyment by lowering the graphic settings a little. So there we have it. I've hardly spent anything on this Windows 7 build, as most parts I either already had or salvaged from another PC, just having to shell out for a graphics card and motherboard. I intend on using this build for testing other components, and I may look to install a Linux distro as well. I'm particularly keen to use the CPU and RAM I originally got with the motherboard, and a lesser GPU I have knocking about, just to see how bad I can make this PC, but that's for another day. So what do you think? What would you like to see me do next with this build? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, stay safe and hopefully I'll see you soon.